prices that we may never see again, unfortunately. By the way, there are 2 today's specials, so if you love chocolate, stick around, we'll have details on that. But in the meantime, this has been selling much more rapidly than we anticipated. Coq10, our #1 brand here at HSN, Andrew's #1 today's special, done in a way that he has never done before. So he's gonna do things today that you may never see ever again. Not only special prices, but 3 great choices. You just choose whether or not you want his #1 best CoQ in the world, you know, if you want it solo, without question, or you can choose it in your size of choice with the addition of vitamin D, and he only does that addition of vitamin D for today, either in the 1000 IU or the 2000 IU, in addition to all the great benefits with CoQ10, but you don't pay anything additionally for that. So real quickly, I'll show you your...
Many people ask, why is there just one price
for
each size? And that's because whether you get just the CoQ10 standard formula or that standard formula plus 1000 IU of vitamin D3 per capsule, or that standard formula plus 2000 IU of vitamin D3 per capsule, they are the same price. If you look back when I started with CoQ10 35 years ago, long before anyone else, it was CoQ10, it was 30 milligrams. Today it's almost 7 times more, it's 200 milligrams. Then we added our special vitamin C because of the relationship between CoQ10 and vitamin C. Then we added a full B-complex with our special B12 because you can't expect CoQ10 to deliver its energy benefits and its other benefits without a full B-complex. And most of us are insufficient or deficient in one or more of the B-complex vitamins. So if you look at the evolution of this product, we've added free vitamin C, free B-complex, free B12, and today, your choice if you want to add free vitamin D. If you just look at the vitamin D, the B12, and the vitamin C, it's more expensive than the price of the formula if you exclude the CoQ10. So, and what Shannon was saying before, just a week or so ago, I unfortunately received an email that mentioned to me that the price of CoQ10 might not be going up just a little, but dramatically. We've managed over the last 35 years to lower the price of CoQ10 by 90%, dramatically. I think we might be at the end of the road. I hope I'm back in 2020 and I say I was wrong. We're going to be able to hold price in the future. But I sincerely doubt it. So if you're inclined to stock up, and it's not like me to normally say this, but again, I'm not standing up here normally having just heard that a cost might go up on an ingredient that we've managed to drive the cost down dramatically over the, not just the years, but over the decades. So it's something to pay attention to.
Absolutely. And remember, there's just this show, and then of course, with whatever's left tonight with Colleen. So there's a lot of information to share, but let me just show you your choices again. Remember, this is a 1 day and 1 day only. Hey, if you are new, when we say Andrew Lessman is America's foremost expert on health and wellness, he makes the world's finest CoQ10.
Vitamins. I defer to others when it comes to health and wellness. Certainly we all have our ideas about health and wellness, but where my expertise really lies is with vitamins. I've been manufacturing vitamins for 40 years. We've had CoQ10, a relatively new ingredient to most companies, for 35 years. Things like glucosamine and chondroitin, relatively new ingredient. We've had those for 40 years. So I've been making vitamins for 40 years and not just selling vitamins. 98, 99% of the companies out there, that's what they do, is they sell vitamins. We actually make them. We don't rely on contract manufacturers. This is made in my factory, my facility in Henderson, Nevada. We seek out the best raw material or we make it ourselves. So we make sure you're getting the highest quality vitamins. In fact, our vitamins are probably the only product you can ever get that has no carbon footprint in terms of its manufacture and production. It normally takes a tremendous amount of energy to produce a vitamin. And when we make our products, we make them in a facility that's entirely solar powered. The roof is covered with solar panels. The parking lot is covered with solar panels. It's in Henderson, Nevada. The other benefit of our factory being in Henderson, Nevada, everyone knows what do we lack in the desert? Water.
True.
The low humidity of the desert allows us to make our products 100% pure. So when I say this product gives you CoQ10 and the vitamin C that has a special relationship with it, and all of the special B-complex vitamins, including our unique form of B12 that's orally usable, absorbable, and of course vitamin D if you choose it, that's all you're getting. You're not getting additives or binders or fillers or lubricants or flowing agents or any of the things that are found in every other vitamin product out there. So we are truly a unique company. So rather than being sort of the health and wellness expert, I really prefer to position myself as being an expert when it comes to making the finest vitamins. And that's what I'm here talking about, are the finest vitamins.
Well, you can be the boss of me with my health and wellness. And I do not say that lightly. My producer, Rick, has always wanted me to tell him that he's the boss of me, but regardless.
Well, I take that job seriously.
Please, you should wear that mantle with pride.
I do wear it with pride.
Well, of the tens of thousands that are spoken for, let me just take you on a tour of your choices. So remember, today and today only, our #1 brand here at HSN. If you are new, a couple of things. We are also extending our holiday return policy. So that means until you have until the end of January with which to try these one-of-a-kind, world-class, world's finest vitamins. And Andrew has a wealth of information to share. But off the bat, with the tens of thousands spoken for, remember, you choose your size of choice. These are sizes Andrew only does today. Normally he taps out at a 240 count. So the 400 exists for today only. The 600 exists for today only. So here's where our pricing goes. Here's where our pricing is today. And here's your savings. Now you can choose the best world-class CoQ10 in the world on its own with all those benefits.
Right.
Or for no additional cost, for zero additional cost. Most of us can realize we need to be getting more vitamin D. You can choose the CoQ10 at the best prices for the year with the inclusion of 1,000 IU of vitamin D or 2,000 of IU of vitamin D for no additional cost. That's crazy.
And what's funny is most companies, their separate vitamin C is one of their most popular, if not their most popular separate ingredient, closely followed by their separate vitamin D, in some cases even more popular. For me, that used to be the case. But ever since I started giving away vitamin C with my CoQ10, and my CoQ10 is my most popular product. So ever since I started giving away vitamin C with my CoQ10, we stopped selling vitamin C. So ever since we started giving vitamin D away with our Today Special for CoQ10, we stopped selling vitamin D. But that's a good thing, because I've always wanted to create a product that I thought was sort of the most indispensable of products. Oftentimes folks ask, what's the one product that really, if I'm only going to take one, where do I start? Where's the best foundation? And I would often say my Essential One multivitamin. But ever since our CoQ10 became sort of a multivitamin, I really lean toward our CoQ10. Because with our CoQ10, you're getting a full B-complex, you're getting vitamin C, now you're getting vitamin D, and you're getting CoQ10, which CoQ10, of course, doesn't come. There's not enough space in the capsule in the multivitamin to also give you the CoQ10. So this really becomes the place to start. And CoQ10 is the foundation. It really is the linchpin when it comes to energy production in all of our cells. And if you look at our new label, we just redesigned our labels recently. That cool little funny blue design, it looks like we put some crazy shape on the front of that label. That is not a crazy shape on the front of that label. In your body, you have hundreds of trillions of those. It's in all of your cells, that little blue sort of oval-shaped thing, that oval-shaped thing. In our body, we have organs. In our cells, we have organelles. And the organelles in our cells are things like lysosomes and endoplasmic reticulum and things like that. One of those things, one of those organelles in our cells, the powerhouses of our cells are called mitochondria. They've become very important. We look at them very carefully nowadays. It's an interesting monitor or gauge for aging when we look at the genetic material in our mitochondria. But our mitochondria is where all energy in our bodies is created. So all that energy is created in our mitochondria. Those little disc-shaped things, those are mitochondria. And that's where CoQ10 goes to work. I kind of jokingly said last night, that's the CoQ10 office. So that's where CoQ10 works. Unfortunately, that's where a lot of the drugs we take work in a fashion that's against our interests, because unfortunately, they will have an impact on energy production. So CoQ10 is something that when we take a number of drugs, its levels are compromised. And you could pretty much in a laboratory, if you were looking at organ function in a human being or in any animal system, and you basically looked at organ function and you reduced available levels of CoQ10 gradually to that animal, to that organism, you're going to watch those organs function less effectively, less efficiently. And again, another way to understand how important CoQ10 is to our vital organs, simply look at where the highest levels of CoQ10 are found in the human body. Heart, brain. A good way to see that, and also to see how potent this product is if you look at this chart shows you the best sources of CoQ10 in the diet.
Right.
Because usually with products like, say, my lutein and zeaxanthin in my Ultimate Eye, I say kale, green leafy vegetables, great sources of lutein, good sources of zeaxanthin.
Right.
If you want to get the best sources of CoQ10, it also underscores how important it is to your most vital organs. You're going to eat pork heart, chicken liver, beef liver. We left brain off here, but it's all going to be at the top, pancreas, things like that.
Wow.
Your vital organs, not only do they never stop working, they can't stop working. If they stop working, if they have issues with energy production, when we think of different issues we might have with our cardiovascular system, invariably that relates to something that impairs the ability of our heart to do what? Produce energy.
Right.
Because if our heart isn't getting adequate oxygen, it can't produce energy. So again, CoQ10 is held at the highest concentrations in the human body, in our heart, in our liver, in our brain, these organs that we rely on for our very existence, let alone the highest quality existence. And if you take a cholesterol-lowering statin drug, absolutely, positively, lowers your levels of CoQ10. Once we pass the age of 25 or 30, our CoQ10 levels steadily decline. With it, our ability to produce energy at optimum levels. So we need to replace that CoQ10. We also tend to be doing things like taking, as I said, statin drugs, cholesterol-lowering drugs. The way statin drugs work, actually, it's another chart here. In our body, we have these metabolic pathways. We have different chemical reactions that take place. And if you look at an enzyme called HMG-CoA reductase, that's an enzyme that statin drugs inhibit.
Okay.
So when they inhibit that, and also bisphosphonate drugs inhibit the mevalonate pathway as well. This is called the mevalonate pathway. But unfortunately, this metabolic pathway, our human body is very efficient. So the same assembly line that makes cholesterol, and that when we take an HMG-CoA reductase inhibitor, a statin drug to inhibit that so we make less cholesterol, that statin drug also inhibits that.
Oh, wow.
The creation of CoQ10. So we already produce less and less CoQ10 as we get older. We take statin drugs, it inhibits it further. If we take beta blockers, perhaps for cardiac rhythm issues, perhaps for high blood pressure, various reasons we might take beta blockers. We might take drugs for osteoporosis or osteopenia like bisphosphonates. We might take antidepressants. There's a long list of medications and drugs, which no wonder many of them have fatigue as one of their significant side effects, that affects our body's ability to produce what little CoQ10 we could produce. So it just underscores for all of us
For sure.
the need to pay attention to CoQ10. And that, when I discussed CoQ10 35 years ago, it would be roughly $2 a capsule to get a 200 milligram product. That would mean that large size would be over $1,200 without the vitamin C and the B-complex and the vitamin D. To think that now CoQ10 has become an ingredient not for a 30 or 60 milligram capsule, but for a 200 milligram capsule, and that 200 milligram capsule is pennies a day. And it also gives you your day's supply of vitamin D and your day's supply of vitamin C, so much so that I basically eliminated vitamin C and vitamin D as popular products. Because CoQ10 now, because it's my most popular product, it was an opportunity for me to make it the most comprehensive CoQ10 possible. And that's why this product has, I think it has thousands of reviews. I know it has thousands of reviews. And it averages, I think, 4.6 or 4.7 stars. So it's basically over 90% 4- and 5-star reviews.
Absolutely. So here's the thing. We are busy. Use express ordering. You can load our app on your cell phone. Allows you to zip forward and get this. Of course, this is Andrew's only day where we're doing the Today's Special. His most popular Today's Special for the year. There's a lot of information to move through, but I would do it, and I would do it now. In fact, you already heard Andrew's story. He makes the world's finest vitamins. It's the best price that he will ever do. And in fact, I know Andrew is talking about the fact that we are not going to see the likes of this again, but but just let's take this back a couple of years. So when Andrew started doing CoQ10 over 35 years ago, most of us didn't even know about CoQ10. But let's just turn the clock back just a little bit to 2000 to 2006. So this is where the pricing would have been. Now, was that with or without the vitamin D at that?
No vitamin D.
So that would have been
Absolutely
without
no
the vitamin D. Okay.
And with less vitamin C, and not with our special new B12, that on its own, our B12 just makes the investment of this formula. So, so again, you're looking at a product that is about a quarter a day. But it's not just, if it was just CoQ10, that would still be an exceptional value for the world's best CoQ10. But to also get the most sophisticated B12, accompanied with the most sophisticated B-complex, and a non-acidic vitamin C, hypoallergenic vitamin C, and if you want 1,000 or 2,000 IU of our, again, world's best vitamin D3. So all of those things make this, it's just the most simple and straightforward opportunity. As I said, I usually say buy whatever size you want.
Sure.
I never encourage anyone beyond the savings. When you look at the cost per capsule, the savings is dramatic on the 600 capsule. I think if you look at the normal price for the 240,
for sure,
which is normally our largest size, it's about the same as the 600 today. So even if you look at the 200 look at the 200 capsule today, the normal price would be $149.
Right. That's where
for
the pricing
$20 more. Basically, you're getting 3 times the quantity. And
you are.
And my point was before that, and you'd be hard pressed to find me saying this, that just recently, and we were told that our cost of CoQ10 would double. I refuse to believe this. But I was told in January 2020, that's what we're facing. I refuse to believe this. We'll find some other alternative or option. We'll figure our way out of this. But again, I doubt if we'll ever be able to. Probably ever since our CoQ10 pricing got in this neighborhood, probably about 5 or 6 years ago, I always wondered, and I wondered out loud, how long we'd be able to maintain this kind of crazy pricing. Because remember, each capsule comes with 300 milligrams of our special non-acidic vitamin C, 50 micrograms of our special orally absorbable B12 and a full B-complex, and your choice of 1,000 or 2,000 IU vitamin D3, or none at all if you don't want the vitamin D. Not to mention, not 30 or 60 or 90 or 100 milligrams of CoQ10, but 200 per capsule. So it really is a crazy, crazy value that I've sort of been able to pinch myself every year thinking, wow, how long is this going to last? And I'm hoping it will continue, but just in case, I just, to be forewarned, I suppose.
Absolutely. I would do it with the tens of thousands that are spoken for. Most of us, I should say, are selecting the sizes he doesn't do today, either the 400 or 600, and the large and the overwhelming majority are doing it with the inclusion of the vitamin D. So there are a couple of things I want to show you. Now remember, like Andrew just said, world's finest CoQ10. So that being said, for today and today only, it's special pricing. It is the lowest price in history, but check this out. So here's where our pricing will go. Now here's what's interesting. If you were going to buy just the vitamin D, and remember, lowest price in history, today is the only day he does these sizes. It's the only day he includes the vitamin D for free, whether you do the 1,000 IU or the 2,000 IU. Now here's what you would be paying if you were adding the inclusion of just the vitamin D. Now you ready? Buckle up. Here's why we're all grabbing this, and you should. This is a perfect platform. What a great way to start with your Andrew Lessman, your journey to better health, and that's what these shows are all about. But if we just considered the cost of the vitamin D, world's finest vitamins, no other vitamin D like it, you know you should be getting more, that would be almost $110. Vitamin B, you hear about a lot of people doing shots, and Andrew is really the only one who allows us to not only get vitamin B for free, that would be almost $110, but vitamin B that is absorbable. I mean, it doesn't matter what somebody throws in a product if your body can't take advantage of it. And then vitamin C, as Andrew just said, you want to talk about savings on just the freebies, if you will, the freebies without the CoQ10.
But by the way, looking at that, remember, with that comparison chart, so the vitamin C, that might seem like a lot, $74.90, but it's the most sophisticated vitamin C you're going to find, but it's also 6 1,200 capsules.
True.
It's almost a 2-year supply.
Yeah.
And of B12, it's 600 capsules of our sophisticated orally absorbable B12 and vitamin D3. Again, 2,000 IU of vitamin D3. That's 1 year and 8 months of it. So when you combine all of those, that's $291 on their own.
Without the CoQ10.
They're basically free because
we're free.
So again, it's as a single dosage. Then I just was going to, there's approximately 4,000 reviews. And to give you an idea, almost 3,400 of those reviews are 5-star reviews.
That's impressive.
So about 85% of the reviews are 5-star reviews. Well over 90% are 4 and 5. Well over 95% are 3, 4, and 5-star. But if you look at the reviews, 1,345 say the product is great, the results are great. 1,123 different reviews, 25% of the reviews use the word love. 1,048 of the reviews, again, about a quarter of the reviews, thanked us for making the product. 1,000 of the reviews talked about improved energy. 700 reviews talked about it being, about 1,700 talked about being the best or better than anything else. So when you look at the reviews and even just sample the words in the reviews, it gives you a sense of how consistently this product performs. And it's not my magic that has it perform well. CoQ10 was imbued with magic long before by the designer of the blueprint of our body. So that importance is something that I recognized long before anyone else 35 years ago. And all I have done in 35 years is evolve the quality of our CoQ10, the purity of our CoQ10, the quality of the other ingredients we provide to ensure that the reviews only keep getting better and better and better. We follow the science, and that's the blueprint that we follow because that's the only one that counts. So many companies, they'll follow the latest hype or the latest story. We just follow the science because the science is what delivers the reviews, and that's ultimately what I'm being judged upon. The quality of your reviews is how good a job that I'm doing.
For sure, and all of this at the best price in history, of the lowest price we will see maybe ever again.
It is the lowest price ever. Whether we'll be able to repeat this, we won't have this as a Today Special again until the latter part of next year. Latter part of 2020. Everything I've been told is that the world is going to change in CoQ10. I mean, unfortunately, worldwide trade, we get so many of our ingredients from all over the world. Worldwide trade is a little bit crazy right now, and so it's difficult to sometimes predict. We've enjoyed great pricing on CoQ10. As I said, declining prices. You could look at that chart. It's declined over 90%. Over 90% in the last couple of decades. So it's the fact that this is my most popular product and that I've been able, it doesn't sound like a good business plan. My most popular product, I've reduced its price by 90%.
You have, I mean, even if we're
I've basically eliminated probably 90% of the sales of our vitamin D and 90% of the sales of our vitamin C and 90% of the sales of our separate B-complex. Why? Because CoQ10 is my most popular product and all of those come for free.
Absolutely. So even if we went back, not even quite all the way to 2006, if you went back to 2007 to 2011, you can see this is where the pricing would be. And remember, that is without the inclusion of vitamin D. So a couple of things are happening. First of all, welcome in. We have the pleasure of sharing time with Andrew Lessman. He manufactures vitamins in a way that no one else does. It is the world's finest vitamins, the world's finest CoQ10. He's our #1 brand. This is the lowest price we've ever seen. There's this show, and then with whatever is remaining coming up tonight with Colleen at 8 o'clock, I would really recommend that you do this now. If Andrew were not the manufacturer of this, the choices, so remember, you choose the world's finest CoQ10 on its own, or you choose for free the CoQ10 200 with the inclusion of vitamin D in a 1,000 IU or a 2,000 IU. That is free. We have our extended holiday return policy, which boy, oh boy, first of all, he makes vitamins in a way that no one else in the world does. That's #1. But to get to try this, you feel a difference. You read those reviews. They read like love letters. But you have until the end of January with which to literally feel difference on energy on a cellular level. So I guess the whole idea is, especially as we move through the course of the busiest, the most stressful, arguably, you know, the times of the year where we're most
I always
tired.
say what is it at the beginning of I think it was A Tale of Two Cities, the Dickens novel. What is it? It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. I kind of look at the holidays like that myself. myself.
absolutely true.
It's the most fun time of year, but talk about stress.
You
Talk
bet.
about piling too many things on. So and what's great about I love, October's my anniversary here.
Yes.
And I love that in October we have our best pricing and everything. We have our most important today special with Coq10. But you get a 3.5, so if you've never tried it, you get a 3.5 month money back guarantee. Normally it's
That's
a 30-day
exciting.
money back guarantee. That's an abundant amount of time. But it's 3.5 months, so it's a great opportunity to try it. What it's going to show here, I've never showed these charts. We've had them for years. That we just looked at what journals have published multiple studies about
Okay.
CoQ10, its essential nature, its essential role, its importance, its benefits. And so I thought that, I thought this was one chart basically, but as you'll see, it's about 10, like Journal of the American Medical Association, New England Journal of Medicine, Annals of the Internal Medicine, Journal of the American College of Cardiology, British Journal of Medicine, as you go down the list, and we have more.
Wow.
American Family Physician, European Journal of Pharmacology, American Journal of Epidemiology, Oncology, Clinical Investigation, Heart Journal. And heart is really where CoQ10 is at its very best. Heart, brain, liver, eyes, clinical biochemistry, nutritional sciences, Journal of the American College of Nutrition, International Journal of Tissue Reactions, American Journal of Cardiovascular Drugs, British Journal of Clinical Pharmacology. It goes on and on and on. In a moment, I'll just read you some quotes from Archives of Biochemistry. Actually, these keep going and going and going.
Yeah, really?
It was more than I expected. No, but, and these are all, even in general dentistry. If you want,
Oh, wow.
I've often asked, what's the single best supplement I make for periodontal health, for gum health? Without a doubt, CoQ10. CoQ10, there's great clinical research and science, so CoQ10. Also, for hearing, and I'll often, when it comes to hearing in the ears, especially as our ears age, I always say vitamin D and CoQ10.
Wow.
Here you don't have to choose, you get both. So again, these are things that have been taken. CoQ10 is its essential nature. It's not a drug. It's made by your body. It's required in every cell of your body. Guess what happens to a cell in your body if it has no CoQ10? It's dead. That cell can't live without CoQ10. It's called ubiquinone because it has to be present everywhere. As in the word ubiquitous, ubiquitous means omnipresent, present everywhere. So ubiquinone has to be everywhere. That everywhere is not living. You can't produce energy. You can't transport those electrons that are the energy we experience without CoQ10. And as you see, the journals just
Wow, it
keep on
does go on,
coming.
doesn't it?
Yes. No, and there's been thousands of clinical studies published. And I was just going to read some quotes, and the quotes can get very technical in terms of heart function, and it's something that even for pets, a lot of purebred dogs can potentially have issues with heart function. It's not a cure or treatment or anything like that, but one of the things that's very common in dogs is congestive heart issues in purebred pedigree dogs. And CoQ10, a lot of the research involved dogs. CoQ10 is just a wonderful thing to support healthy hearts in aging dogs, because dogs are kind of us on speed in terms of aging. We get to see the changes in their eyes and their hearing and their joints. So CoQ10, here's the first chart here, which kind of sums it up. Current neurovascular research, which was one of the charts listed there. It was reported that animals supplemented on CoQ10 may reach a significantly longer mean lifespan, 11.7% higher. You can bet the moment I read this chart, my dog Lincoln was getting CoQ10.
No kidding.
A significantly higher maximum lifespan, 24%. And increased learning capacity than non-supplemented animals. Maybe that's why Lincoln is so smart. Suggesting that a long-term supplementation with a small dosage of CoQ10 may represent a good anti-aging therapy. I read this chart last night and I said, good? I mean, I would read those numbers, and even if it's just, general science on different animal species, that's compelling, especially because as someone who makes this product, if I had to warn you about it, I would. But there's no side effects. The only thing I get to talk about are all the other side benefits. That if you're taking this to support your energy level, you get cardiovascular benefits, you get exercise recovery benefits, you get benefits to protecting your healthy eyes as they age, you get benefits to protecting your aging brain. which if we're here, all our brains are aging. So it's just a product that you don't get, I warn you about other benefits, not about future problems. Plus, it's a small capsule. It's an easy to swallow capsule that will never upset your stomach. You can even open the capsule and empty it into a smoothie or something like that. I'll show you right here. And the color. Often I'm asked that this color, why do I use artificial colors?
Yeah.
Why do I color my products? No, it just so happens that Coenzyme Q10 is a beautiful, bright yellow color. That is the natural beauty of CoQ10. That's Mother Nature, once again, at her best. So again, it doesn't have to, products don't have to come in big horse tablets or big liquid capsules that are hard to swallow and upset your stomach. A product doesn't have to be miserable to be beneficial. A product doesn't have to have side effects to deliver benefits. This product only delivers a long list of benefits. And if we're just talking energy, and that's one of the most common complaints we all bring to our doctors, oftentimes it's as a result of side effects from medications. And those medications impair CoQ10 synthesis in our body. So if fatigue is an issue, many of us, the first thing we do, we want a quick fix. It's just common sense. We just want it to go away. So it's caffeine or it's calories, and those are things that cause future problems. The sugar is going to cause a subsequent crash, as does caffeine. So the last thing we need in this crazy, stressful world is more caffeine, more stimulation. CoQ10 works differently. It works, I think there was someone who had said, I think it was like J. Paul Getty or something like that, I'd rather have the 1% of the labors of 1,000 people than 100% of my own.
Right.
Meaning building a big team and having a big company or things like that. We have hundreds of trillions of cells in our body. I would rather improve their work, their efficacy on my behalf by even a fraction of a percent rather than simply stimulating my nervous system. And that's what CoQ10 is all about. It goes to the most critical organs that concentrate it at the highest levels, and in so doing, it improves the energy, the optimum energy efficiency of all those hundreds of trillions of cells. Now that's basic common sense when it comes to supporting healthy energy.
Absolutely, and all for the best price ever. So I know we're busy. Hey, don't forget, we do have another Today's Special. I promise we'll get to Choco Nouveau, which is making its triumphant return as our second Today's Special in a moment. I know we're busy. Use that app on your cell phone. You can join us on your computer. You can call that toll-free number, but you should do it. I know the science is overwhelming. The economics, the savings are overwhelming. Our extended holiday return policy, the benefits and the freebies, if you just factor in the idea that you're getting a full 600, if you do the 600 count of vitamin D if you choose that for free, 600 count of vitamin B in a way that no one else does, so you can absorb it for free, and vitamin C for free with an unconditional money-back guarantee until the end of January. But here's what you do. So if you are channel surfing, Andrew Lessman is here. He's our #1 brand. This is his #1 Today's Special. It's the lowest price ever. There's only one more show after this. Of the tens of thousands that are spoken for, remember, you can choose, do you want CoQ10 on its own, world's finest, or do you want CoQ10 200 milligrams with vitamin D 1,000 IU for free, or vitamin D 2,000 IU for free? Then you choose your bottle count size. So these are sizes Andrew only does today with the inclusion of vitamin D for free. So normally he kind of taps out right around this area. You know, 240 is usually the largest size that we can get without vitamin D. Today, huge savings, even if you do the introductory. These are great travel sizes. They're wonderful stocking stuffers. This is the gift of health for anybody at our most critical time of the year, for anyone that you love and care about. 50, 100, 200, which is pretty close to where the largest size normally is. Yep. 400 or 600. Flex pay for anyone watching this show. In fact, if you do that 600 count, do you realize not only are you saving more than you're spending, I mean, that's about pretty close to what you'd spend for the 200, but you get an extended holiday return policy.
Right.
So until the end of January, and you will feel a difference. You absolutely will.
And it's more than that. I mean, I'll read some charts here. Whether I was talking about before, whether it's eye health, whether it's the periodontal health, the health of our gums, and most dentists will tell you, yeah, it's important to take care of your teeth. but it's really important to take care of your gums, those delicate, fragile tissues. So these are things that we really don't contemplate. I think the low-hanging fruit, what people really get excited about CoQ10, is its central, integral, critical role in all energy production and our key organ function, whether it's our heart, whether it's our liver. The highest concentrations by far of CoQ10 in the human body are found in our most critical organs because those critical organs are energy dependent. You could basically map their function based upon their ability to efficiently produce energy. And as we get older, their ability to produce energy becomes less efficient, their optimal functioning deteriorates. That's just the normal aging process that I'd like to think we have strategies to make that normal aging process a more graceful process. But I was going to read some more of the science. The reviews are incredible. I haven't read any reviews. You could go to hsn.com. There are thousands of them. Again, as I said, 3, 4, and 5-star reviews are about 97 or 98%. Just 5-star reviews are pushing 85% of the reviews. 5-star reviews. So, but here we go. CoQ10 levels are increased in the first 20 years of life. However, the organism, these are scientists, that's you and me, we're the organism, begins to lose its ability to synthesize CoQ10 along aging, and its concentration may become deficient. Wow. So after the age of 20, that's when we start that slow, gradual decline of CoQ10 synthesis, which is critical for energy production, which is critical for anti-aging. A deficit of endogenous internal CoQ10 production can be associated with aging. They just said it is associated with aging, where the uptake from the diet may become relevant, meaning when we're young, pre-20, CoQ10 in the diet is irrelevant. As we get older, it's critical. Unfortunately, it's not available in the diet. Based on that, oral CoQ10 supplementation appears as a viable antioxidant strategy in many aging-related conditions where oxidative stress is implicated. And most of what we consider our aging issues and problems are oxidatively induced. This is, in the literature, numerous reports can be found discussing the implications of CoQ10 supplementation in human studies and clinical trials related to aging. When I think about aging, it's top of the list is CoQ10 and vitamin D. For sure. Today, you don't have to choose. Taking together, the results derived from our study demonstrated the multiple benefits of CoQ10 supplementation to a healthy diet, as Mediterranean diet, in elderly people, as a dietary strategy to ameliorate the oxidative stress and inflammatory processes underlying aging and age-related diseases. It describes all of us. The human body biosynthesizes CoQ10, but its endogenous tissue levels drop progressively with increasing age. CoQ10 is chiefly found in the most active organs like the heart, kidney, and liver, pancreas, brain, where an even greater decline can be observed with increasing age, which means that our most critical organs are paying an even greater price for the inherent decline in CoQ10. From the International Journal of Cardiology, endogenous synthesis of CoQ10 in the body declines with age, indicating a rationale, a logic for supplementation in the elderly. I consider elderly after the age of 20 then. True. If you read the research. Cancer epidemiology, biomarkers, and prevention. Cellular and tissue levels of CoQ10 decrease with age, and cellular levels below a critical threshold are incompatible with life. As I said before, without CoQ10, a cell cannot be alive. CoQ10 supplements, this is from Nutrition Journal, CoQ10 supplements at a dose of 150 milligrams can decrease oxidative stress and increase antioxidant enzyme activity. A higher dose of CoQ10 supplements, greater than 150 milligrams per day, might promote rapid and sustainable antioxidant reduced oxidative stress. Wow. And of course, what's our dose here? 200 milligrams, greater than 150. So again, as I said, the blueprint for my product is the science. Based on our results, it seems clear that Coenzyme Q10 has a protective effect on the cardiovascular system, which may be ascribed to its antioxidant function. Coenzyme Q10 is a well-tolerated and safe supplementation and has greater synergistic effect than other antioxidant vitamins such as vitamin A, C, and E. I'll do one more. Coenzyme Q10, also known as ubiquinone, meaning that it has to be present everywhere, is an antioxidant which may act to promote healthy blood pressure by acting directly on vascular endothelium. That's something I was going to mention, that there's only one other ingredient, we could say this about its omega-3s, that if you look at certain measures that really are defining of our good health, our blood pressure, our blood sugar level, our blood lipid levels like cholesterol levels, triglyceride levels, things like that. These are all critical numbers that we want to keep in line, that we follow our doctor's guidance, perhaps diet, perhaps medications. But if you want to supplement that conspires in a positive way to keep all those numbers where you'd like them, then CoQ10 is the best choice at the very top of that list.
And all for the best price that we have seen and the best price that we will see, all with a unconditional money-back guarantee until the end of January. I know we're busy. Remember, there are a lot of ways you can shop. Call that toll-free number, load that app on your cell phone. You can kind of budge ahead in line, but do it. The research is beyond compelling, and if you're going to bother to take CoQ10, take the world's finest. You can take it today in the best way possible, but he will include, if you choose CoQ10 on its own, or choose vitamin D in the 1,000 IU or the 2,000 IU, all for no additional cost. Then choose your bottle or your capsule size. Even on the introductory sizes, it's the gift of health for anybody that you love and care about. 50, 100, 200, 400, and 600. Remember, these are two sizes Andrew only does today. He only includes the vitamin D for free today, free shipping, and with that extended holiday return policy, boy, it's hard to say no. It really is.
As I've said, if you're going to try just one capsule that I make, and it's a small, easy to swallow capsule, this would be the choice because you're getting the most sophisticated B-complex. You're getting a B12 like no other B12 you'll find in any other product. Typical B12 is cyanocobalamin. It has a cyanide component in it. It releases trace amounts of cyanide. Ours is methylcobalamin.
Right.
Methylcobalamin is the natural coenzyme form of B12. We also protect it so it's not going to be damaged in your gut, so it actually can be absorbed. We've always heard that B12 had to be injected to be beneficial. Our B12 is orally absorbable. You could show this to your doctor. So you're getting the most sophisticated B-complex B12 in the world, plus a full natural non-acidic vitamin C, plus your choice of vitamin D. All of those things basically for free, and then you're getting CoQ10 at literally pennies a day for 200 milligrams of the world's finest CoQ10.
Absolutely, so hopefully you do it.
Yep.
Is it time, Mr. Wonka?
Let's move on to chocolate for a little bit, and then Muriel will join us a little later because
sounds good.
She did the little cookbook that comes along. She did the little chocolate cookbook.
Nice.
Because it's more than just the healthiest and most delicious chocolate in the world.